Okay, welcome back. Well, this is where we need to draw the guts. Now we know that a section view is all about revealing internal detail for a complex part. Quite often hidden lines don't tell the whole story or can be very confusing, especially if they're overlapping and doing all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So this is a way of getting an understanding of what the object looks like internally. So we need to get what's happening internally. And we're very close to a solution here. We've got the top, we've got our chamfer in. All we need to do now is work out what's happening through this object. Now we know that at the bottom we have a hole that is 5 mils, and at the top we have a thread that is 6 mils by 1. Okay, so we've got 6 mil situation here, a thread, and then it goes down to a 5 mil hole, and we just need to work out the depth of our thread. Okay, so what we might want to say to ourselves is, just to make life really easy, is we're going to do this 5 mil right through, and then we'll think about how the thread looks. Okay, so we start at the bottom. We've got a 5 mil hole, so we know it's 5 by 5 because it's times 5. So we've got 5 by 5 is 25 mils. So we need to get the center line of 25 mils, so it's 12.5 mils. Okay, so we've got 12.5 mils either side of the center line. Okay, because we know that this hole is a diameter of 5. So we'll get our ruler out and we'll put it down on here, and we'll go 10, 11, 12 and a half. We draw a line there, and we go 10, 11, 12 and a half. We draw a line here, and then we'll go up here once again to the top here somewhere, maybe right to the top, and we'll go 10, 11, 12 and a half here, and 12 and a half here. Okay, and then we're just going to draw our line straight down. Now we already know we have an issue with this object, because when we slice it, this line here, 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 and here, this is a hole, and this is going to be the part that's actually sectioned. Okay, so we already know that these lines don't belong here, but that's okay because we have our rubber with us, so we just rub them out. Okay, because that's when we slice the hole is definitely going to be left blank, and these parts are actually going to end up being hatched, okay, to indicate that they've been sliced. So that is our 5 mil diameter hole at the bottom. At the top we have a 6 mil hole. So we need to know how we work out, using this idea of an M6 by 1, how we actually work out how wide to make our thread lines. Okay, because when we actually have a hole in an object, okay, we need to actually have a thread line which runs either side. Okay, but we don't know how wide to make that. Okay, so the way we do that is we look at our M6. So that means the outside diameter of our hole is 6 mils. Okay, so I gave you information about threads, okay, telling you that for a threaded hole, we've got our thread either side of the hole. So we have what's known as an inner diameter, which is this side of the line. And then on the outside of each of these thread lines, we have the outer diameter. Okay, so inner diameter, outer diameter. Now, to work out what that inner figure is, so that we know where to draw that line inside of the one that's 6 mils apart, because it's an M6, what we do is, for the convention for drawing, and this is not the physical reality, but the convention for drawing is you just say 6 minus the pitch, and the pitch is times 1. Okay, so we say 6 minus 1 equals 5. So this inner diameter is 5 mils. So either side we've got 0.5 mils of thread, but we know that our scale is times 5, so we say 0.5 times 5, we end up with 2.5 mils either side. So I can actually grab my trusty little ruler and draw a 2.5 mil line either side. Okay, and so I'm going to just take those lines down, and I know that it doesn't go all the way down, but I'm just going to draw it longer than I think it's going to need to be, and then I'll clean it up later. Okay, so that's that line there. I'm going to get rid of all of this business because it's in the way. Okay, so how far down does my thread come? That's the next question. We've got this thread here, and we know it's 18. Now, it would be very easy to go, okay, I'm just going to come down 5 times 18 in here. But we have this bit in here, okay, which is 4 mils. So because this head is going to be sitting on top of this, you're going to lose 4 mils of this threaded bolt because it'll be sitting 4 mils above the top of this object. Okay, so this goes into this bolt here. So if we actually put this bolt on here, okay, we've got, this is 4 millimeters, as we can see there, 4 millimeters. So we get 18 minus 4. Okay, so that means we've got 14 millimeters of thread coming in here. So what we do is we say 5 times 14 is 70 mils. So we know that our thread is going to come down 7 centimeters from the top. So either side of those lines, I'm going to get 7 centimeters and 7 centimeters. And I'm going to draw a line across here. Now this is just the conventional way of drawing the end of a thread in a section drawing, okay? So you might be saying, well, why is there a line going across there? That is just the way things are done. So you might need to get used to a few of the conventions about how the end of a thread looks. And then what they normally do to terminate the bottom of that thread is they just draw in a 45-degree line here and here. I probably should be using my ruler, but heck, I'm not. And so that is the bottom of our thread, okay? Then all we need to do is we can firm in our drawing now. So I'm just going to, in an HSC examination, if you've got time, use your ruler, but if you're in a bit of a rush, I don't have a problem with a little bit of handwork happening. Get your drawing firmed in if you are happy with it. Now, as I said, these were our thread lines. So we get those firmed in as well. And remember, the depth of our thread was, we worked it out by saying our outer diameter minus the pitch to give us our inner diameter. Then we subtract one figure from the other and we divide by 2 because we've got thread either side. And then all we need to do is we need to hatch the parts that have been cut. Now, I know it's counterintuitive, but your thread line gets hatched over as well. Once again, that is just a convention of a section drawing. Okay, now if we screwed a bolt into this object, we would not hatch the bolt or the thread. Okay, we'd be hatching just this part here. We wouldn't hatch over into the thread line. But if there's nothing inside it when we section it, we hatch across it. So we've got our set square here, and if you want to be really professional, you can you try to make these reasonably equally spaced at 45 degrees. Now we're coming up to the next one. We'll start hatching into this part here. Hatching is normally going to be at 45 degrees, and if they're the same part, you can see, and can you see here, I'm not hatching the hole, but I am hatching into my thread. I'll show you that in a moment. So we go up, hatch across the thread, up, hatch across the thread, and I'm already coming off my 45. So try and be a little bit more accurate than I am, if you can. I'm working around a camera here, so it's making things a little bit awkward. Okay. And there you have it. Cut parts are hatched at 45. We hatched across our thread line because there's no bolt screwed in there. That's the convention for drawing the bottom of a thread. You better learn how to do that. There's only one thing that we haven't done, okay? We remember we labeled our chamfer 0.5 by 45 degrees. Now we need to do the entire height of this object, okay? So we know that from here to here is 22, plus a 2 at the top is 24 millimeters from top to bottom. So you need to get a line at the top for dimensioning and a dimension line at the bottom, and we're going to draw an arrow top and bottom, and we're going to put the dimension. You should always put them, like if we had 2 or 3, they'd all be on this side so you could read them in the same direction. We're going to put a 24 here, and that is our completed drawing of our adjusting sleeve for the bike caliper. Hopefully that helps. Watch all the videos, and then you need to do, the only way you learn how to do this properly is to do lots and lots of examples, learn some of the conventions, and learn some of the tricks and some of the things you might fall over on. Hope that's helpful. See you in the next thing that I have to teach you. Bye.